Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. BoomStick and Friends. And ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, tomorrow's the Game Awards. And
Ooh.
honestly, as much as, a lot of us are still kind of a little down because Xbox isn't going to be represented in the awards arena as much as we all think that they should. And that's fine. Folks, I'm here to tell you that I know some things which I will not spoil. I will not spoil. And again, they're rumors. I will not utter a word of what I have heard. I can tell you there are a couple of things. One, I am dying inside right now, literally melting inside because of what I wish I could talk about and I can't. I'm going to say this, folks. If you are an Xbox fan, please, for the love of Joe, do not miss the Game Awards. I don't know when these announcements are coming. I know only a couple of them, and they're pretty big. I gotta tell you, seeing what Xbox has done for gaming, for its consumers, and more importantly, its fan base this year with first party and, of course, Xbox Game Pass leading the way, leading the conversation. I'm here to tell you that if everything that I'm hearing comes to fruition, because remember, it's still rumors, folks, it is going to be the tip of the spear for Xbox in 2023. The year is going to be closed out in the biggest way possible, and 2024 is going to be just bomb after bomb after bomb. And this is coming off of a one for Sony, one of the poorest years in platform history. And folks, we're going to open up about that Bungie news. And I'm so glad that Kay Asante is here because I talk to Kay pretty much every day. That's my real life brother. I mean, not by blood, but him and Everborn are like extensions of my family. And we talk almost every day. And he has one of the most pointed, thought-provoking opinions about Bungie that I think you folks are going to sit back and go, but let's welcome in our special guest. You know him. He's one half of the dynamic duo with Web Dave on the Gamers Council podcast each and every Sunday, but he is also, folks, alumni from the Xbox Factor podcast. You know him as Retri. What's going on, dude? Welcome back.
I'm so glad I'm here for this show. I'm brimming, dude. I'm really excited and happy to say that I'm gonna be taking some receipts. I'm gonna be taking some legs from
those
people that
receipts,
came after
brother.
me on some of my predictions. Ooh, you guys do not want to miss the show tomorrow. The hype is real. I'm super excited. We're definitely gonna be talking about Bungie and what's going on with them. Or of course, we're gonna talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah.
There's a reason for Xbox guys to show up. They teased us, man. They teased us, and it's gonna pay off. Like I'm so excited.
It's gonna pay off big. Shout out to Scott Gamer Dude who says I still love Redfall. Boom! I don't care what people say. Listen,
That's right.
I got 80 hours into this game, and I make no apologies for it. I'm running a second character. When I beat it, I will run a third. And shout outs to Tom Henderson, who actually wrote a pretty awesome piece about Redfall. He gave it a second chance, and he actually said, I'm glad that I did. So, well, there's that. And we've got to welcome in Hargeet Chani. He's got the prime time graphics behind him. So thank you so much for the love, brother. I appreciate that. You now know what I know. You nearly jumped out of your chair. Keep it in, because we can't say anything because obviously we work together. How are you feeling? And are you even more excited now for the Game Awards than you were before?
Yeah, with that, it's even more than what I was expecting. So I'm like, wow, because what I was expecting was, okay, this is gonna be cool. But no, this is even more crazy. Yeah. So, and I'm sure they have even more stuff. So we will find out. And look, that's just from the Xbox side. Usually we have announcements from everybody, right? So, and Sega's saying they're going to be doing something, right? So there's all sorts of potential things going on, right? And Geoff hasn't come out and said temper your expectations. So
No.
Mm.
Yeah,
Neither has Aaron Greenberg.
and neither has
I'm
Aaron
expecting some
Greenberg.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So listen, real
across the
quick,
board.
Prince Green in the chat, he says in all caps, please no spoilers. And I can assure everybody
Yeah,
in the
we're not
chat
gonna
here
tell you.
now, we're not going to say a word for a couple of reasons. One, I wouldn't want to be the guy that spoils this. I know some things. I have confirmations from several sources. I'm excited. I don't mind knowing, but I would never ruin your excitement. So by all means, hang
We're
out
not
for
going
the
to
2
Grand Theft
hours.
Auto you guys.
We're not going to. Yeah, we're certainly not dropping Grand Theft Auto level leaks
Yeah.
for you or videos. So don't worry about that. But hey, Asante, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Man, I'm so excited that Spider-Man is gonna be on X. Oh, I'm sorry, what? No, I'm just kidding.
We're getting Wolverine, guys. All right, sorry, I did
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I
I'm
couldn't
just
help.
kidding. I'm absolutely kidding, and you know I'm kidding because I picked the most outlandish choice to make, just to make sure that you know I'm kidding. So just calm down, people. All
Well,
right?
but Asante, we could be getting Spider-Man because there's those.
don't
yes.
do that.
Yes,
Don't
we
do
can.
I
that.
just want you to
Different
know
type of
that
Spider-Man.
Asante, you should have learned better, and I'm going to tell you why you should have learned better. Because you might just get idle sloth because he's listening.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
And
Don't,
you could
again,
be
do that,
now-
please.
Yeah.
You could get sloth the second time because you're the one that broke the news. You know, obviously,
now.
Asante,
Hey now.
industry insider, Asante with
Oh,
the
God.
Starfield.
Oh God!
That was so funny.
Don't remind people. What's wrong with you, Boom? Stop it! No, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm happy to be here. You know, it's a busy season with all the Christmas and all that, the holiday prep and all that going on. But it's always great to stop and chat, and of course, Retree's here. So why not? What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yes, what's going on, Kay? It's been a minute, man. We got the Star Halo 2 season 2 coming up right down here.
Hey, now, calm down. Don't keep that going. Don't do that.
Dude, you're like you guys are
uncalled for.
twins. You gotta own that, bro. I'd be all over that. You know, you gotta get some residuals going on. Yeah, good having you, man. Yeah, we're gonna have you back on our show as well. I miss you, brother.
I appreciate that.
Well, listen, folks, we got to open up with some sad news or potentially some sad news. And we're going to go first to Asante because we were talking, obviously, earlier today. And Kay, look, it's now being reported pretty much by everybody. I mean, even IGN wrote a story, which is, quite shocking because, anything anti-Sony, well, they usually don't write it. But, unfortunately, there is some more bad news for Bungie. And some of their leaders, and we're going to get to Retree's opinion. He's pretty pissed. Has said some pretty heinous things. And your pointed opinion is pretty interesting. So look, I pulled, first of all, this story broke from Jason Schreier. Now I said this to Asante. He is a terrible person. An actual human being, he is not. But he is a damn good reporter, and this is just another. Like I said, you gotta tip your cap. Now, I don't like Jason. He blocked me for calling him a pompous ass. I don't think I was wrong for doing so. I've said publicly, he's just not a good human. I'm sorry, he's just not. But he's a damn good reporter, and he had broke the story regarding Bungie. So, and he has me blocked, so I can't see him, which is fine. I don't want to read any of his stuff anyway because it gives him clicks. I did, however, pull one of my favorite sites, and that, of course, is VGC. Obviously, that's run. And today's story comes away by Tom Ivan. I happen to really like Tom's work over at VGC, and this is the lead story, folks, and it's not good. Bungie's position as an independent Sony subsidiary is reportedly under threat. Sony could take complete control of the studio if it fails to meet financial targets it's claimed. Now, the story goes on to say, when the PlayStation maker announced its intention to acquire Destiny's studio last year, it was said Bungie would continue to operate independently, maintaining the ability to self-publish and reach players wherever they choose to play. Now, post-acquisition, Bungie would be an independent run by its board of directors chaired by Pete Parsons and Bungie's current management team, Sony said. Now, according to a new IGN report, the company's board is currently made up of PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst, Sony senior VP Eric Lempel, Bungie co-founder Jason Jones, Bungie CTO Louis Villegas, and Parsons, who serves as the tiebreaker vote. Now, this is why this is a story is according to VGC, Bungie has been struggling to meet its targets, and with the threat of a potential Sony takeover looming, Bungie's leadership has reportedly embarked on a wide-range cost-cutting plan that has seen over 100 of its studio's employees laid off. Now, Kay, I want to go to you first on this because you have a pretty pointed opinion when it comes to Bungie. Look, we've seen Bungie do a lot of really great things, but in the process of doing these great things, they have had problems with Microsoft, was able to leave, was bought by Activision. Years later, had problems with them there, but bought themselves back from Activision, became independent, was purchased by Sony just last year, and now they are having problems with SIE. I mean, I think it's safe to say that maybe the issue isn't these big conglomerates. Maybe it's just Bungie. What are your thoughts?
So first, before I start, I will say, obviously, all these movers and shakers, all these situations lead ultimately to the loss of jobs and potential loss, and that's just unfortunate. We're not asking for anybody to lose their job, or we're not hoping that anybody loses their job. But I think the idea that the company is where they are now is a travesty, honestly, because they come from such greatness. They just do, right? They are part and parcel of gaming history in a big way. So the fact that they are in threat now, that there's a potential world where they don't exist as we know it, is a very sad state. So that needs to be made clear, and I really mean that because I'm a huge Halo fan, and many of them created, by and large, are part of that DNA. So I completely get that. My thoughts on this whole thing is a little odd, because I'm of two minds. I'm split a little bit. I think it's unfortunate, like all of that. I think it's sad. But on the other side, and here come the virtual tomatoes at me, I feel like people maybe need to keep the same energy. Like back when we were in a world like you're saying, Boom, they've been bouncing from platform to platform, right? And you've defined the platform as well. And even between that platform, they also had some investment in some various Asian companies that I think it was China, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a little bit of investment in them in other various sources.
I think Tencent.
Yeah, Tencent might have invested or something like that. So there've been a lot of cooks in the kitchen that each had their own potential agendas, right? But needless to say, they've kind of been able to move and shake with the times, as it were, right? Honestly, in my opinion, just like in the Microsoft case, where people are always complaining that, hey, man, these guys bought the company, they bought ABK, they now have the right to do with ABK what they will. That whole idea of Bungie staying independent, to me, was a fool's errand. Come on now, Sony bought them, and the fact that Sony bought them means they now own them. And that whole idea of they're going to be independent within Sony, look, man, you can only do that trick too many times before they come after you. And here we are, right? I'm sorry, and let's be clear here. Yes, they are somewhat victims in this, but if you own something and it is not producing, you start cutting, or you start walking into that room and start, when we started hearing that Redfall wasn't going well, or this other thing or that other thing wasn't going well, what did people demand? Where Peach is at? Where he at? Get in there.
Peach is a
move
gangster.
things around, right? That's what we kept hearing, right? In this instance, how long? And let's be clear. To this day, if you take if you jump into Destiny 2, the moment to moment is amazing. You'll lose yourself for 2-3 hours. But how long has it been since you've heard that all these the Bungie, the Destiny community is happy, right? They have long since abandoned their community, so much so that the award that they're potentially going to get will be a slap in the face of everybody who lost their job recently, right? They are not what they used to be. And because of that, they're losing a lot of their audience. It is what it is. So if Sony shows up and says, look, man, you guys have not met your targets. You want to be independent in this deal? Sure, you can be independent in this deal, but that's only when you're successful. If you fall below a certain threshold of success, we reserve the right to come in and ROI, man, return on investment. We got to move and shake things around. This is the initiative. It's time for Gallagher to get his way. Everybody's gone. Why? Because I said so. Why? Because I own this mother effer, as it were. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it that way, but they own this. They're not going to be allowed to just run around and do what they want to do. And you hear a lot of the background information that's going around. When times get tough, they are not the people that treat the leadership aren't the people that treat their employees and just people in general with respect as they should, right? These are when times are good, we're a family, but when times get tough, people are being treated very badly, right? And that report basically like documents that pretty well. Everyone is being treated like basically a number in favor of whatever the agenda is at the top, because they got to save that money and they got to do that. So I think it's super sad. Generally, I think it's really unfortunate. I hope that Bungie exists by and large still in its form, but it is really interesting, right? They shook the spot from Microsoft. They shook the spot from all these people. It took SIE to bring Sony to bring Bungie to its knees.
Yep.
It's a little sad, but I, for one, say, hey, man, Sony paid for it. They deserve to do with it whatever they feel fit to do with it, because that's what they got. And that's the same energy as when Microsoft makes their purchases. They need to do with it what they, I don't see an issue in it. The battle was lost when the check was signed.
Yeah,
that's it.
I agree. Yeah. No, I mean, again, it's a tale of two different platforms, right? Like when Microsoft made this finally signed the contract and got the deal done with Activision to own them. There were handshakes. There were people crying out of happiness. People were jumping in the streets. Phil flew around with Sarah and Aaron to each of the studios. Everyone was taking photos and having fun and congratulating one another, right? This Bungie deal was very weird. It was so corporate and so cold. And hey, they're part of the studios. Welcome in. And that's it. No tours around the studio. They're just a part of it. And even back then, you were like, I don't. That doesn't sound right to me. We spent $3.6 billion, which $1 billion of that was for retention, and we have no say over what you do. No exclusivity. You kind of
ridiculous,
just
right?
It sounds like I don't know, man, like a fool's bet.
It sounds like a company spending 90 or 80 billion dollars and being told where to put their game or what to do with it. Like, get out of here with that hogwash. It's the same.
I have a couple of things on that specifically. Because so let me see. Is it here? Let me just bring up my okay. So first of all, shout out to Ultron Quake and Kale Walker, who actually dropped this Jason Schreier story in my lap. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for that. This one has to say, this comes directly from Jason Schreier. He says, lots of sad and shocking details in this well-reported story about Bungie's latest cultural crisis. And this comes the way of Duck Valentine. One theme behind this year's industry layoffs is that even the most successful live service games can't keep growing forever. Now, I want to bring up my thing because I did have here something that Hargeet is not really holding weight. And obviously, it aged very poorly. And that is the way of J-Rock, who should be joining us shortly. He actually, J-Rock has a quote from Jim Ryan, former CEO of PlayStation, folks. And this is what Jim had to say. We believe that Bungie can give us way more with capitals than a $69 billion acquisition of Activision. Well, there's that. There is that, folks. So Jim Ryan was fired for a reason. So there you go. Speaking of the devil, J-Rock. There he is, J-Rock. Welcome to the show, kind sir. How you feeling?
Jay?
Thank you for the invitation. Hello, Gremlin Nation.
Gremlin
Hello,
Nation
panel
indeed,
and
brother.
chat.
Don't feed after midnight, otherwise you're gonna get a problem.
How we doing? How we doing, guys?
We're good. We're good. We're
brother.
happy to have you here, brother. We will get to you because obviously you've been tweeting a lot about it, especially about what's going on with Bungie. That's what we opened up with, and of course, we're going to get into the Game Awards. Your thoughts and theories. We're hearing some pretty stout things. Xbox is going to reign supreme tomorrow, folks. Xbox gamers, please do not miss. It's going to be fun. So, Hargi, let's bring you in on this Bungie situation again. It is, again, this is back-to-back months of really, really bad news for Bungie. They continue to under-deliver.
Yep.
They announced earlier last week that the last DLC for Destiny, the big one, has been delayed into the summer. We don't know if it's going to get an additional delay, but we know that they have laid off a significant amount of people. And according to Jason Schreier's report, that actually may increase if they cannot meet these goals. This is not good, man. This is not. What are your thoughts?
There's lots of thoughts, right? So, first, interestingly, right? So, I guess you should also clarify. You said they were acquired by Activision. Technically, it was just a partnership, a 10-year publishing deal.
Right.
They weren't acquired, but
they weren't
broke
acquired.
that deal.
Well, yeah.
And
You're
then
right.
Moved out of it. And then NetEase was the company from China that invested some money in them, and that should be out of the way now because it was bought by Sony. Look, right before this deal happened, they were actually buddying up with Xbox, and their DLCs were coming into Game Pass, right? And Game Pass gives you an automatic 25-ish million people that might go and play your game. So their live game was being supported by a very large, multiplayer happy user base that could just get it, right? They would just get the new expansions as part of Game Pass, and you just get those players. That all dried up, right? Because before that acquisition, right, all that stuff was in Game Pass, and then they didn't renew, and we're like, what's going on here, right? And it turned out, they were in that negotiation phase, and therefore they couldn't renew with Xbox because they were about to be acquired by Sony, right? So just reminding people that was where they were, right? And when they were in Game Pass, the numbers were very good. They were very good, right? They were doing pretty well on their own, and then they suddenly spiked with Game Pass. Cool. They're doing really well. With that, they could negotiate, hey, this is our current monthly active user base, right? This is what we've got. Sony, you need to pay us a lot of money. Cool. And then that evaporates because guess what? You don't have that subscription thing. Now you have to sell it every time. Whatever, $40 you have to pay to get the upgrade. I don't know how much. I think it's about that much, right? Okay, cool. People didn't like it. That was the problem, not the money. They didn't like what was coming out. If you don't have to pay for it outright because it's just part of your subscription, you're like, whatever, I'll just go play it anyways because it's right there. I'll just download it and do it, right? So they get their money. They get their monthly active users, their engagement. That didn't happen anymore, right? So now you have to kind of fight for it. The deal they made with Sony, it's cool that now we understand the structure of it, that, you're not just a free-for-all, do whatever you want. You have to maintain a certain level of revenue. If you're not making that, you're going to get taken over, which frankly just might be the right answer at this point. They probably do need to have a change of mindset. I don't know that Sony can do better for them or not, but the most interesting part of this whole thing was they were brought in to help them pivot to games as a service.
Yes.
And Bungie themselves are failing. They're telling their other studios, you ain't crap. You can't make games as a service games. You should shut that one down. You should shut that one down. And they can't even make money on their own. On their current, 10-year long game, They can't even make money on that. Okay, cool. Where does that leave Sony? Right? Their entire pivot was based on Bungie being that the company that's going to come in and the studio that's going to come in and train up their studios to be able to do this. Where does that leave, Sony? Where are they with this whole pivot to games as a service? Who do they listen to now? Should they go back to Naughty Dog and say, maybe you were right? Maybe your game was the right thing. We should do that, right? Or whoever, because there were other ones that were canned or slowed down because they weren't good enough. Should they go back to them? Maybe they were right. This whole thing just is a disaster for them, right? But hey, maybe they'll pull it out. They'll figure it out. All the while, on the other side of the world, Xbox has had Minecraft, which has been continuing on for decades. They've got Sea of Thieves coming up as a low-rated game, but people keep playing it. And
30+ million people too on top of that,
right? And they've added other live games that continue to keep doing well enough.
Grounded is another one,
right? Yeah. Grounded. You can even say like Forza, it keeps getting content, and people keep playing Forza Horizon 5. And all right, cool. And they just bought ABK, which was useless apparently, but it gives them hundreds of millions of monthly active users. Okay, cool. That's where they are. They're about to become the revenue leader. And Sony's still trying to figure out what the heck to do to even make profit. Okay, cool. You got to see why there are structural changes happening over there.
Yeah.
But it's really sad in the fact that, look, the folks that are there are no longer getting all the cool benefits they used to, right? So their bonuses are being decreased. They're not getting merit increases, stuff like that have been all detailed, which is terrible. The morale is going down. I get all that. But this is, unfortunately, this is kind of the way it goes if you keep banking on one thing, right? This is why making all sorts of games and having an awesome service like Game Pass, which, I mean, they have one. They could just, do a day and
They
day.
could make it awesome, but they won't.
Simple things like saying, you know what? We're going to do what Destiny was doing with Game Pass and put your expansions in the bloody service.
Yes.
Which eliminates the problem for them, but they won't do it. I guarantee you they won't even think of that. Because they have this stupid mentality that we know what's right. Like, okay, look, you wanted to pivot. Maybe learn from the company that's doing it, making more profit with less freaking customers on their console. They're making more money. Why don't you go look at what they're doing?
How about
maybe
this?
It's time to just look at it and do it.
Well, how about this add into context what you're saying? With half the consoles stole.
Yeah. Right. And they're doing day and day on PC. They don't care. They just want customers, right?
Right.
And they've been profitable since 2020. They've been more profitable than PlayStation, right? The documents were leaked. They've been more profitable with less consoles, with fewer studios, right? With fewer games. It didn't matter. They were making money, right? And now it's just going to accelerate even further, right? So, look, if you want to find a model that works, you don't have to go far. You've got a competitor. It's working. Just go look, do it. How is this so difficult? But they won't. They're too arrogant. But we'll see what they do with it. All the while, Bungie's going to lose talent. I'm sorry. At some point, morale goes down. People, especially ones that are really good, will just go somewhere else where they don't feel like they're like, is my job going to be secure? Am I going to have a job tomorrow? It's like, no, this other company's hiring. I'm going there. Bye. No. Yeah. And it's not like they don't have, like, Bungie's in the Redmond area. I'm just saying. And it's not like they don't have somebody else they could go talk to that they might have been a part of before and say, oh no, it was like, guys, 343, you want some help? Okay, cool. Hi.
Hi, welcome home. There you go.
Or any of the other things that Xbox has there, right? They could certainly find jobs at the other side. And it's all up to them to make this, happen as far as Sony and Bungie. But right now, the way things are going, it doesn't look good. Now, maybe a half a year from now, their next expansion takes, and it's great. We don't know, right? Sometimes if it's just not happening anymore, like they've sort of ramped down where Destiny is kind of dying out because they're ending their story arc. People just might say like, I'll go on to the next thing, right? So it may come back, it may not, right? One of the cool things with Bungie is their gameplay loop is usually really good, right? The gun mechanics are fantastic, the movement's fantastic. Maybe people will come back. We'll see. there is a level of fatigue at some point. We're finding that across the board. It's hard to keep people in year after year after year. You have to create something enough so that people can coming back. Fortnite has somehow done that for a while, but it isn't always the case that every game can do that. But we'll see what they do with it, right? So it's a sad state. It isn't unpredictable, though. When you pivot everything, say, I'm going to take some of the talent from your studio to make my other studios be able to do something, you're taking that talent away. It's going to make things more challenging for that studio to continue to do what it's doing, on top of which you're asking them to do things while they're pivoting to a new game, right? So it was always going to be a problem. On top of that, you're not leveraging your freaking subscription service to help them.
Yep.
Okay. All these things add up. Eventually, it would have been far better if Bungie just wasn't as, I guess, arrogant themselves and, took the deal from the Xbox side, because then all their content would have been in Game Pass, right? And this whole rat race of having to make, their commitment on amount of revenue would be non-existent, because they don't care. It's just going to Game Pass. That's the whole point, right? It's just another thing that gives us more subscriptions. That's all they were looking for at Xbox's side, right? But Phil controls where those games go, right? And that was something they didn't want to deal with, right? It was, no, we control it. No. Phil controls where those games go. You have to accept that. They didn't want to do that. Fine, fair enough. You are where you are, and there are consequences for your decisions, right? So we'll see where this goes. I think it's going to suck for them. I unfortunately, I do think it's going to suck for them. It's a pretty insular, industry. So I'm sure a lot of the people know the other developers that are working at Bungie, right? So I'm sure there's some emails, some phone calls. Hey, there's jobs over here. Saying there might be some jobs
that
over
hasn't
here.
already been done, right?
Right, and so we'll see how that goes, right? I mean, when you're not giving merit increases, no bonuses, things like that, that just really depresses people. And that's what we're getting, right? The article is saying that the working environment is just not. It's not good.
It's toxic. It's
and
depressing. Yeah.
And that generally leads to people deciding to go. Now, if you have a turnaround, something that people can latch on to, that, hey, in 6 months, it's going to be like this, it'll be great. Cool. So they might have some of that, but it's been a while, and their current trajectory puts them at mid next year, right? I don't know if people want to stay that long. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if that doesn't hit, then what happens? All right. And if they do get taken over, I actually think it might be better for Bungie. They kind of do need to change up a bit. But I don't know what Sony's going to do for them, because that was the whole point. They don't know how to do this stuff. Right. That's why they brought them in. What are they going to do? Are they going to go buy somebody else and try to figure out how to do a live service game? This is an interesting headache for them, right? And on the flip side, the other side's doing happily everything they need to do with live games, with single player games, with RTSs, with fighting games, covering everything, right? So we'll see. I don't know. It's disappointing, as you said. This is sad news, but not unexpected, right? It's kind of the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been saying for weeks, I would even dare say months, that Sony's in a tailspin. Nobody wanted to believe us. The media isn't talking about it, right? They're pretending that it doesn't exist, and they're writing.
Something I wanted to mention, Boom.
Yeah, again.
I am noticing now, after all the hubbub about the Xbox tax, that we're actually seeing negative articles about PlayStation.
Isn't it shocking? Yeah,
right?
Absolutely shocking.
From IGN of all
I'm noticing
people.
it. Not just IGN. All the standard ones that have the name, their media organization is named after PlayStation, Push Square or whatever. They're all starting to write articles that talk about the negativity of PlayStation. Yes, this is what you need to do. You need to tell them that things are problematic so that they go fix it. But I'm noticing the last couple of weeks, after we had all this media meltdown that we were doing, there is a tax.
Yeah. There is. But I'll tell you this: today's only Wednesday, folks. Right? So. I mean, I'm no mathematician by any stretch of the truth, Retry, but this is the third day of the week.
Yeah.
Monday passed, Tuesday passed, Wednesday passed, right? Oh, okay, miracle. I know my dates. But you know what's very shocking? Every one of those days, Sony shit the bed. The first day, right? It was that because they didn't sign the contract with Warner Brothers, players that actually bought films
Right.
on the PlayStation Network are going to lose access to them because they don't have the rights anymore. So the money you spent, well, too bad. And then on Tuesday, Hackathon 2006 all over again. People were getting their accounts suspended indefinitely, and Sony wouldn't even respond to the press. And here
Yep,
we are,
crickets.
Wednesday, more bad news for Bungie. You have another pointed opinion I want to get to before we bring J Rock in and get his,
Sure.
and of course then we're going to transition over to how big of a deal it is going to be for Xbox tomorrow at the Game Awards.
Oh yeah.
Let's what are your thoughts there, Retri?
Bungie, you left us. There was a home for you with creative freedom, and you went to the one place where that don't exist no more. I think it was a big mistake for Bungie to go with Sony. It was maybe a good idea for Sony to probably try to get them in to fix their live service thing, but as Hargeet said, they can't. Their own house is out of order, right? We've seen, and I don't want to get started on the whole Destiny 2 being in the best ongoing game thing. What a effing joke that was.
Yeah.
I have no clue why that game's in there. That's absolute BS. Come on now. But you're seeing, I think I kind of agree with Kay. I think the problem here is Bungie. Bungie's problem is Bungie, right? So you're seeing like leadership. We're seeing these guys are so desperate to stay independent that they got rid of their own employees to do so. That's why we saw the articles come out and Bungie saying, no, we did that. Sony didn't do that. Well, protect Sony. We wouldn't want. We are trying so desperately not to get consumed by Sony that we are going to get rid of our own employees. And at the same time, you got leadership that are just saying awful things. You got the employees saying that it's so crushing to work there after what happened, and that everyone has to shut their mouths after all their friends just got fired. And if they say anything, it feels like there might be some repercussions from leadership at Bungie. So, I mean, you got Sony, you got Bungie leadership saying that their QA testers, that they've gotten rid of 10% of them, by the way, because now they want to outsource because they want to save some money, are not even developers. They called them non-developers. Dude, come on. That's not cool. Like, whether you're not like making the game itself, you are part of the development team. You are not a non-developer because you're QA testing. Once again, the guys in quality assurance always get screwed. They always get shit on. I'm not surprised that somebody said this, but Bungie needs a check, man. Someone needs to check that company right now because it's not looking good. And I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if Marathon's it. I watched Marathon and I went, meh. Like, and I love Halo. I liked Destiny when it came out. I moved on. Like, apparently a lot of people did, right? I don't know if Marathon is it. I know I see some people in the chat saying that'll probably be exclusive. I definitely don't think it's exclusive because then it's dead on arrival, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like an extraction
players don't
shooter,
do multiplayer. That's a fact.
right? Like the only thing they've ever backed up was COD, and that's gone. So I don't have too much to add on to this except for the fact that it seems like it's a leadership problem. And if Sony, if these guys want to stay independent and get away from Sony, maybe Microsoft will take them in. I don't know. One thing,
be better off,
though,
wouldn't
for
they?
real though, they would be better off. Why? Because of Game Pass, because creative freedom is a thing here. We just heard Phil reiterate that fact that he doesn't want to dictate when it comes to like ABK and bringing back old IP. We just heard him say that he wants people that are passionate about what they're working on and to work on those things that they want to work on. Guess what? You're not going to get that freedom at Sony. Even when they're not owned by you and you're independent, it's in the contract. They made sure that if you screwed up or you tripped up once, that they're going to snatch them up and own them for real. So, I say come to the other side, guys. Get rid of all these leaders, bring them into the Xbox family, get rid of all the troublemakers that are clearly a lot of the leadership. Because when you say the things that some of these guys have said, I'd get rid of them. Like that's not a good leader. A good leader doesn't do that because you just make morale get that much worse. And I definitely know about this. We got bought out 3 times at our company. So every time new guys came in, they promised the world, and every time it got worse.
Yep.
Every time a new
course, right?
person came in, it got worse and worse because grass is greener on the other side. But it is what it is, man. Like obviously they overpaid. Boo on Sony, and maybe that's part of the reason that Jim is gone. Bad investments. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But I'll let J-Rock go off because he's here
and I think Marathon is confirmed to be multi-plat. It is confirmed.
It has been
so.
confirmed. Yeah, it is confirmed to be multi-plat. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember, confirmed under a different banner at the time. Things could. I'm not saying it would, and I don't think Sony be stupid enough to do this, but they didn't really have the cachet to say it couldn't go multi-plat. They might soon in a month or two, but I don't see that happening. Don't get me wrong. I don't see that happening.
Fair point, right? If they take over,
you know what I'm saying? They take over. The board. If the board's made up of Sony members and not Bungie members anymore, then anything can happen. You know what I mean? You never know with Sony.
That is very true. J-Rock, before we bring you into the conversation, brother, I got to thank a couple of people with some big bomb super chats that have dropped in here. RC Polygons drops an outstanding $10 super chat and says, I wasn't able to send a super chat yesterday about GTA 6, and I am very greedy. I think with what Rockstar Games has shown us, I think Microsoft should spend another 30, 40, $50 billion to get Take-Two. I mean, listen, I want them to buy everybody also. I don't know if that goes through. I personally would just be happy with marketing rights, to be honest with you. And maybe you do something. If you remember, like during the 360 era, when they had Grand Theft Auto 4, they had the marketing for that. They wound up locking up the Ballad of Gay Tony, which was great. Absolutely astounding DLC, and they had that locked up for a year. So maybe if they drop a bag over at 2K, maybe they get the first DLC for Grand Theft Auto 6 locked up. Who knows? Maybe they don't even have to lock it up. Anyone that buys the game and has Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gets the DLC for free. I mean, it could be one of many things.
That's more like what Phil would rather do, right? He doesn't like the whole.
He doesn't like the exclusivity, but he would say, "Hey,
Game
listen,
Pass,
in Game Pass,
that's the exclusive,
and that's the exclusive in itself, indeed." Chris R drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "Halo should get best supported game. It's a shame it's not on the list." Dude, I mean,
Thieves, Grounded, Forza. There's so many that belong in that
all
category.
4 of them are gas games, and the 4 best gas games are not on the list. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I think we understand. I think you know.
Well, I mean, we do understand, but I'm saying
it's real.
If there was one game out of the 4 that really could have used that kind of view, like put out on Front Street, it's Halo. Halo Infinite is just so damn good. It is just
it deserves its flowers, man. This season is disgustingly good, and Firefight is, man, dude, it's so good. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy good. We have Papal Penguin Gaming. Well, Papal, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the generosity, and his kind words are also appreciated. He says, Mr. Boomstick, love your channel. Any thoughts on the new Avatar game? I will be playing that tomorrow. I think it launches tomorrow, the 7th. I'm very excited for that because A, I love Avatar, and B, I'm kind of like a stan for Ubisoft when it comes to these open world games, and they know how to do it well. That game looks gorgeous. I cannot wait to try to play it on my new my new OLED, because everything I'm playing on is just mouth-wateringly good. But thank you so much for that. Hey, J-Rock, let's get your hot take on what's going on with Bungie. I mean,
they're down bad, Boom.
Yeah, they are down bad, and you know something? Crickets from the very vocal people that you and I, face on a daily basis in these Twitter streets, as they're known. What are your thoughts, man?
Hey, Boom. Before I even get into it, you was a former police officer. I'm sure you still have connects over there at the NYPD. Maybe we could put our APV on the Doomers and Gloomers. They seem to be gone.
They done disappeared. Weird.
I have a couple of people and I have a couple of friends in missing persons. I could reach out to them. I absolutely could.
Let's get that. Put them in the back of milk cartons. Every
You
time
know,
you saw the
I
news
can
drops,
hand out
this dude
flyers.
disappear. Yeah.
I can hand out flyers on the corner.
Let's,
Not a
let's do a
problem.
GoFundMe, community. Let's do a GoFundMe. Let's find him.
I love it.
Listen, the last time I saw something this bad, it was Jim Ryan coming to sign some deal with a white tee and Crocs.
With this white t-shirt, yeah. With his
That
Hanes
was with
shirt.
Crocs and,
Yeah, that's pretty
and
bad.
socks
Yeah.
on. I said, damn, this man doesn't even care about signing deals now. They probably picked him off of a Mexican resort, you know, was sipping on pina coladas. But to go into this destiny thing, what do you do when your savior needs saving? That's an interesting question that Sony needs to find the
That's
answer.
a
What do they
fantastic
do
question, actually.
when their savior needs saving? They were brought in to save the roadmap of gas service games. But now it turns out that they themselves need saving. Jesus, take the wheel. Listen, I saw this coming, Boom. There's something called the PlayStation multiplayer curse. I'm starting it now. Anything multiplayer
Hashtag
related
cursed.
over
You heard
there
it here.
with PlayStation, it just seems to end. Creativity ends over there. Multiplayer go over there to die, and the only multiplayers they support are third party Call of Duty. Shout outs to y'all for supporting COD. We appreciate it over here at the Xbox side of things. Maybe they could pivot, man. Like you guys were saying earlier, pivot, like Friends. Maybe you should turn them into a third party over the shoulder, sad dad, violent dad type of studio. Make next Bungie cancel Marathon, whatever you have, scrap it. Let's do a third person over the shoulder game. That's how you could get some money back, at least. Because other than that, it's doomed. I don't see how they could fix this. Boom. I think they're done.
Yeah.
I think they're done.
Well, I mean,
The
Jay,
Bungie we grew up loving, right?
Yes.
It's gone. I told you
that's no longer the same Bungie.
Those developers gone. They've gone. They've retired. Some of them. They're doing their own studios. Some of them are 343. And shout out to 343 now that I'm on that. Maybe the Xbox community should appreciate what they have in a studio that could deliver great single player and multiplayer games at the same time. The only thing that was lacking was content, and now we have content. So shout out to you guys, 343 Studios. You guys have done a tremendous job. I love you guys.
Yeah, they absolutely have. Again, a perfect example, Jay. You're a multiplayer guy because you are like an assassin. When I saw some of the videos you put up for especially with the Shoddy, that last video was ridiculous, dude. Like you, oh my goodness, he is a Call of Duty murderer, folks. Don't play against him, otherwise you're gonna catch it. It's unfortunate that the savior, as you said, now needs saving. Pretty ridiculous when you think about it.
Good way to put it, though, right?
Remember how we were all talking back in the day? Like maybe Bungie's doing this just to be like, our game sucks, like F you, and we were all laughing about it and joking about it. Maybe we're onto something. They shut down factions. We're all like, yeah, that's Bungie just like trying to make sure they stay top dog. Maybe it wasn't too far off.
I nearly choked on my water just now because James Daly II says new slogan, PlayStation, where dreams go to die.
Hey, let's put that on the t-shirt.
Wait, didn't they actually have a game named that?
Dreams?
They have
Dreams,
something
like
Dreams.
That.
Yeah,
it did die.
And it died. I mean, dude, it writes itself.
Didn't they close that studio too? So
And talking about studio closures, we saw this previously, like I said on Twitter, with Psygnosis, right? Psygnosis.
Yeah, actually, that was a really good point. Folks, if you don't know what he's talking about, let me just, for some context here, because we might have some younger gamers. Psygnosis, if you remember back in the PlayStation games, PlayStation 1 days, was a phenomenal developer. I actually think they made the first Wipeout. They made a bunch of really amazing games. Sony bought that publisher. They were
made their dev kits and everything. Boom.
They were the biggest publisher from Europe.
Yes,
the largest European publisher.
After a couple of years, Sony killed them off, man.
Yeah, pretty much all of it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Jay actually said something on Twitter that people were like really bent out of shape about, but he's not wrong. I don't think they killed Bungie, but I mean, Psygnosis at the time was tip of the spear. Well, Bungie used to be tip of the spear, not so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And not only that, upon their acquisition, right, they came out in the 90s and said we're still gonna put our games on PC and other platforms, right, like the Nintendo. And slowly but surely, they started losing their power, right? Sony started continuously taking that back. No, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. By the end, they were just a PlayStation exclusive studio. Ultimately, they shut them down. And I think this is going to be the same trajectory of Bungie, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's well,
state
you know
of
what?
affairs, man.
It's scary, especially if you are at Bungie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know personally the leadership change that came the way of 343, and it was very volatile for sure. While it was run by some other people, now with new leadership, they seem to have gotten everything right. And I don't want anyone mucking that up. So I kind of feel like leadership needs to stay where they are, and that's with Sony. Try and make something work. Stay away from 343. I don't want your chocolate with my peanut butter. Yeah, I mean it's pretty unbelievable that we are talking about a studio that logistically was responsible for creating Halo, has done some really great things in gaming, and really has left a trail of dead bodies almost every time they've worked with someone. They had problems with Microsoft, they had problems with Activision, now they have problems with Sony. It's not good.
Sometimes you got to look in the mirror, man. Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and go, maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but
and
look,
Boom, talking about Halo, right? This is a fun fact. They're currently now they've worked longer on Destiny than they have actually Halo, and failed to regain their past glory days.
Wow,
which is interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this, Boom, but like there was a Kotaku article that was tweeted today that was from May, but they updated it yesterday. I don't know if you saw this one or not, but it's the same old Xbox is dying. So Xbox is running out of time to get it right.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tweeted out by Kotaku again. And the reason I bring it up is, there's no Xbox tax? Really? Really? After the year that PlayStation had, you're saying that? After they just freaking bought ABK, you're telling me they're running out of time, but PlayStation's just totally dandy. Okay.
Yeah,
from May, right before the awards.
They're running out of time, Hargy, but Sony's running out of money. So let's see who. Let's see who.
Come on.
Oh man, yeah. It's funny. The more this continues to happen to Sony, the more you kind of wonder if we're gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be Apple is gonna buy them, or something like, or Amazon is gonna buy them, or Google's gonna buy them, or something like that, because they are in the tailspin, folks. I'm here to tell you, tomorrow night at the Game Awards, expect nothing.
Let's see where things go.
Expect nothing from Sony, and the best you're probably gonna get is a trailer for The Last of Us 2 remake, and maybe, if you're lucky, a Horizon PC announcement, trailer.
Not
and
like
that
this,
is all you're gonna get.
Not like this, Boom. Lord have mercy.
That's what it's, and what's, like I said, it's Xbox,
Boom.
man.
Are you really sitting there and telling us there's nothing to expect from what happened to the secret showcase, Boom?
Well, I filed it
It's
under
a real big
missing
secret.
persons with the other guy.
It's too secret.
It's so secret. It doesn't exist.
It's actually so
gone.
secret,
You
no
guys are
one
out
can
of control
find it,
right now.
including
You guys
Sony.
are out of
Sony can't
control.
find their own secret showcase.
Yeah,
There you go.
Where is our showcase? Where are our games?
No
world.
Terrell Smiles says, if I see one more VR game from Sony, you might see some
Keighley.
VR.
Please, Keighley, you're our only hope.
Well, look, okay, well, there is the possibility that they see Death Stranding, right? Because Kojima will probably be there, right?
I think that's
so
very
you might
likely.
see Death Stranding 2, and that's probably going to be one of their big games. I'm going to guess that's probably the only thing, if it's going to be there, right?
If it's going to be there, yeah.
Death Stranding, Hardy.
Unless of course,
Yeah.
unless
we're
of
down
course.
bad. We're down bad, ladies and gentlemen.
J-Rock, they may be down better, if that's a word, because could you imagine?
Maybe down worse. Yeah.
Could you imagine tomorrow, after what I just told Hargeet and Retri, which we will not repeat, okay?
I just
and
want to
those-
scream it out loud.
And
It's
they're,
fine.
I know,
they're-
right?
they're-
Dude, like,
they're-
what are they going to show of Death Stranding? He's going to be taking packages over a different terrain?
No, they're not. They're actually. J-Rock,
God.
I have a better one, because here, this is where you're going to see people potentially like fainting in their seats and rolling out, and they're going to be rolling down the stage, like almost like trying to attack Geoff Keighley. Could you imagine tomorrow evening, after what's going to happen that I heard that I know is going to happen, and Colt Eastwood is out there, poking and prodding with his little teeth
Yeah,
as
he is.
well.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Kojima is brought out on stage by Keighley? And Keighley, because obviously there's some stuff that maybe he doesn't even know, right? Because he wasn't privy to the Xbox Series X being shown, right? That was held from him, and he was like,
Yep.
this is my show. What happened? It is the Microsoft Theater. Could you imagine J-Rock and company and chat? And by the way, we have 700 people here. That's amazing.
Let's
So
go.
thank you for being here. Could you imagine if Kojima comes out tomorrow and he goes like this, and it's a trailer for the Xbox exclusive that he's working on?
Oh,
Yeah, it's really a
man.
question of, are they ready, right? Because I don't know how long
Yeah.
it's going to take for him to get to a point. He was able to do a Death Stranding trailer pretty soon after that announcement with that.
Last year,
with
he
PlayStation.
was in the studio
So-
getting a trailer ready, but they didn't
Yeah.
say what it was for.
Right. Hargy,
Yeah.
or he could do like Neil Druckmann, go up there and show a concept art.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness!
For a game that ain't
Slander.
coming. We'll talk about this next year, maybe, until Bungie tells me not to.
Too bad she tells me not to. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's true. Listen, that's not good. Listen, what I want to do is we're at the hour mark. Being we don't know how long we have J-Rock for. I want to go to him first, but we're going to be talking about tomorrow night's big show. But before we get to that, JD Gamer drops an outstanding, very generous $10 super chat and says, "I want GTA 6 marketing and content. Give Take-Two the money for marketing rights plus exclusive content, even Game Pass availability. Microsoft, do you hear me? Just give them the money. This will change everything." Look, I said this yesterday to Kay Asante. Microsoft, whether you folks want to believe it or not, they have the boot on Sony's neck. I'm sorry. Maybe, you guys want to keep talking about console sales, but Microsoft only cares about money, and they're making more money now. Could you just imagine that next, 2025's, whatever box is going to be on the shelf is going to have Call of Duty, potentially Fable, and GTA markings? Like, that would literally, people would fall on the sword to be Xbox fans. It's just, I'm sorry, folks. It's just is
We
what
know-
it is.
The
I think
profits
PlayStation
prove
already
it
has
to
it,
us,
right?
right? We literally watch their console sales go down and their profit go up. If that doesn't prove that they don't need console sales as much as Sony does, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'm so torn with this one. I'd love them to do it, right? Because money doesn't matter to Microsoft. They literally have hundreds of billions of dollars just burning in the bank that they can just go spend anytime. But if they want to go buy more stuff, like as in acquire more publishers, they can't appear to be pernicious.
Yeah, no,
See,
it's true.
Hargy, that's where I was pushing back a bit, right?
Yeah, he was.
Right,
He was pushing back with
this
me.
is
Yeah.
this is not like Daddy Microsoft, Daddy Warbucks that's got all the indefinite money. This is Amy Hood's shop where you earn what you eat, right?
Yep.
I'm sure they got the bag, but the question is,
They wanna
which
spend it.
oddly named individual gets it? Is it Lars, or is it Strauss? I think Lars should get the bag because what he offers is more permanent, but it'll require the same level of bag just for this marketing deal. So I'm like, maybe that's not the brightest of ideas.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? They can't appear to like want to kill PlayStation. Which
That's right. They need PlayStation. I was saying this to Boom today.
Dude, they get
Right?
GTA.
If they want to keep buying, they need someone to hide behind. You can't kill them yet.
Well,
that's the problem.
I'll
I
say
so
this.
want them to do it, but
It depends on the cultural impact, right? And what comes with this deal. Like hell, I would even cover the cost of development if it meant I get exclusive missions in GTA, right? And the ability to do a custom console bundled in GTA.
Yep.
You see that's the cultural impact of GTA cannot be, you know,
Understated?
Minimized.
You know, like,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's big.
So so I'm picturing a custom console of the woman twerking on the car,
right.
and when you turn on your console, she does this.
Yeah.
So as a person who is literally right where the satire is being taken place, I will tell you it is not satire.
That's right.
It is a
No,
documentary.
we saw the footage. Yeah, we
It is
saw it.
hilariously accurate. Like
Very, the lady with the hammers too. Yeah, we saw the lady with the hammers. Yeah,
they're all there. You know, the dude who's watering his lawn while has no clothes on, like all of that. It's all right there. I need
Southern
I always keep
Florida.
my eye on them.
Okay, how would you feel about exclusive content included in a marketing deal and rights to a custom console?
I would see in that vein. I suspect that might be an area of potential opportunity, right? As I was telling Boom, I believe that the world that we know as far as marketing deals and all those deals in general are dictated by the leaders, right? And what you know is what has existed all this time because that's what PlayStation wants. But as we see, Microsoft is now solidifying themselves as a bigger player. They're being respected by the platforms, so now they get to dictate certain terms, and they are not exclusivity people. They are incentives people. So in that world, everyone and because of that, I see a world where both groups get to market COD in different ways, because Microsoft won't want to preclude any others, and let's keep it a buck. Even though Sony would want to preclude the others, they can't afford that bag. They just can't. That would be cutting blood from a stone. They cannot. So I foresee a world where both of them get to market it in their own ways. And as you're saying, J-Rock, then maybe offer incentives. Hey, you get it on our service, we offer you this. It gets it on another service, you offer them that. You know, that way the level of playing field tends to be more even. And guess what? Strauss gets the bag from both sides, which is what his priority is. You know, and that bag size won't be large because it won't be exclusive like that. You know what I'm saying? So then they can maybe go still assist Lars in those areas that they need to assist Lars. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, we're gonna see which way they're gonna go, one way or another, soon, I would imagine. But I do want to kind of move this conversation over to the Game Awards because, look, like I said in the opening, folks, a lot of people are still in their feelings that Microsoft seemed to be snubbed, specifically Starfield in many, many areas. And again, as much as I have a distaste for, Starfield not being in the same category for score, which is just unbelievable, or design. I don't get it. But it's okay. Don't worry about the awards. Starfield is doing just fine. 12 million plus players, 10 million copies sold, even though it's an Xbox Game Pass, and on Xbox Game Pass for PC, still sold 10 million copies, which is double what Spider-Man sold on a PlayStation, PlayStation 5, and that's pretty good considering that it's in a service and Spider-Man isn't, right? We are here, ladies and gentlemen, which again, 700 people here. Please, for the love of Joe, we are 242 subs away from 14,000 subscribers. If you are new to the channel, and I see a lot of new names here, please consider subscribing. I do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 different shows, 5 different panels, all great content. And listen, all you gotta do is listen to what the fun we're having here. This is what we have each and every day, Monday through Friday. J-Rock, I want to go to you first on this, brother, because I don't know how much time you have to give on the show, but let's talk Game Awards. Let's talk the excitement that's swirling around not PlayStation, not Nintendo, but Xbox. We've been hearing for the last couple of weeks that, rumors, rumblings, if you will, that there's going to be some pretty big bombs. And I know one of them for sure, which of course I'm not going to, say out loud, but it is a pretty big one. And the fact of the matter is they're going to have quite a few of them tomorrow. Where does your expectations fall? What are you hoping that they bring to the table tomorrow night when they have millions upon millions of people tuning in for these no longer world premieres, but world premieres?
Oh man, for me. It's simple. I want to see what the coalition is working on.
Yeah,
Give
dude.
me,
Yeah.
give me a Gears of War
Gears
trailer.
6.
Yeah, give me a Gears of War trailer. Let me see the Unreal Engine masters at work. That's what I really want to see. Other than that, if they could show me some Hellblade gameplay, combat, I'll be happy with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the
Combat
big
was the
one.
right word.
Yeah, combat. Yeah, because
combat.
I think everyone's
We
waiting
all want
for
the
it.
same thing.
I want to see combat. Bro.
Already. Come on, man.
It's been long enough. It's been long enough.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
should be able to see
everyone's
something.
been waiting. Obviously, you know what? To be honest with you, J-Rock, that's a great point, because if you think about it, it would be Hellblade 2 coming full circle, right?
Exactly.
We got in 2019 the announcement and the trailer of what was coming. That right after the Series X was announced, we got the Hellblade 2 trailer. I'm not sure if it was the following year or 2021. We got another trailer with her and a lot of people that she's with and her crew were fighting this giant that was dragging himself, right? Then we got another trailer this past summer where a lot of us a little disappointed because we were hoping for that combat trailer. And what we did learn last week is that it has been rated in Australia for a mature rating because of the violence that is inherent in this game, which tells me that there's going to be some really bombastic combat potentially. And I think that this would be a great way to round out Hellblade's 2 run from, initial announcement to what the gameplay is going to look like. That's a good call, dude.
Yep. Good
call. Hey, listen, Everborn Saga is here. He hasn't been here in a couple of weeks because, folks, he's been busy as all H. Great to have him here. Everborn, what's going on, brother? Good evening.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I am in the car and I'm always listening in the background when we go, but I had to jump in just to say I'm not gone. It's just been a crazy end of the year, so I will be back soon. But I heard you guys talking about some amazing topics, and you brought up the GTA marketing, right? And boom, you and I had this discussion offline. I feel like everybody's really caught up in the moment of the GTA marketing, and it would be huge. But lest we forget, Microsoft now has the COD marketing, and if any marketing can go head to head with GTA, it is COD. And so, yes, it's Daddy Warbucks, right? We get it, right? But at a certain point, they have to say, is this gonna be worth it, right? So, do you want to print GTA on the box in the holiday season when you really want to be selling COD boxes, right? Or do you want to and also Sony is in a position where they have to overpay for it, because what do they no longer have? COD, right? And so it may be worth more to Sony than it is to Microsoft, because at the end of the day, right now with Xbox, GTA marketing is a nice to have. For Sony, it is a must have because they have nothing. So they may pay more than Microsoft, because Microsoft may say, "Listen, I can buy another publisher with with the amount of money that
exactly,
Strauss
Everborn.
wants."
That's what I said yesterday. Save that money and go get some more acquisitions. Let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if it, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a Sobo or Crystal Dynamics or
marketing
the new
for GTA?
Right? Or have something printed on a box for?
I just said that.
I'm
Who's
agreeing
getting
with
the
you.
bag? Strauss
I agree.
or Lars? Somebody needs
drop the bag to Lars. They need it more anyway. That's
that's thing to consider. At the end of the day is how much is it worth to Microsoft to pay for that. I do disagree with people that just are saying it's a foregone conclusion that Sony has the marketing rights.
They do not just,
what I think, again, I hate agreeing with Kay Asante, but I think Strauss is going to play them off of each other. And I think he's going to take money from Xbox and he's going to take money from PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe.
And at that point, why wouldn't he also take money from Nintendo?
Anybody.
That's it, man. He is the damsel at the ball, so to speak, right? He's the guy. Everybody
over there, Andreas. Yeah.
Everybody wants him. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. So everyone, real quick before you get on out of here,
yes.
What are your expectations? Because Jay Rock brought up a good one with Hellblade, potentially showing off the fighting mechanics that we have all been asking for. What are your personal expectations for tomorrow evening's?
Well, let me just say this. Just like Wu-Tang, Xbox is for the children.
I thought you were gonna say Xbox ain't nothing to F with. That's where I thought you were going.
No, I'm trying to keep it PG. I think if we get that announcement and it sounds like it's gonna be in the style of Hi-Fi Rush, like art style.
Yes.
Right? Because it said it's supposed to be like an anime, but it's gonna be more of an open world thing. So that would be huge. I heard rumors of Arcane Leon.
Don't mention anything. Yeah, don't say the word.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just say I expect Arcane to announce something, right? Our brother Sycamore thinks that it's going to be a handheld announcement there. That's not happening anytime soon.
There you go again. Everborn walking around spoiling everything. You see, this is the problem.
But it's not going to happen. It's not a spoiler. It doesn't happen.
It's not happening.
But so, and I do expect Hellblade to be there. That's not because I heard. By the way, I want to be very clear. I've heard no rumors. None. I know there's info going around, but I wasn't in the green room. So this is me completely just guessing. I saw the Wu-Tang thing on the timeline today, but everything else is just, it could go anyway. But I expect 2 new game announcements and a Hellblade combat trailer. That's what I expect to see.
I think all 3 of those are going to happen. In fact, I know at least 2 of those are going to happen, and there's one other one that we can't talk about that I definitely know is happening, and it's Game Pass related, and it's going to blow everybody away. So I'm very excited.
I think okay. Can I talk about what Stein? So he works for Xbox, right? Can I talk about what he tweeted? Sure. Yeah. So he tweeted a picture with a bunch of Harry Potter books on his bookshelf. What does that mean?
That means Hogwarts Legacy.
I wonder.
Right? And then
Hogwarts Legacy and Game Pass.
And then they have tweeted. This is again, I have not heard anything, right? But they're tweeting how big should this B button be? What does that B stand for? Right?
I wonder. You gotta cut him off, dude.
Is it Baldur's Gate 3 in Game Pass? These are the questions I'm asking. There's something else that starts with a B, but we're not going to say that.
It's good questions. Look, I want to say this right now.
He spoils movies and he wants to come after you. This dude spoils everything. Look at this.
I didn't say anything. I know nothing.
It's open to interpretation. B could mean Blizzard. I'm just
exactly.
New Blizzard.
Exactly.
Yeah, they own Blizzard.
Anyway, listen, gentlemen, I'm gonna go back to a listener in the background. I got to go get this haircut now. So, Boom, we will talk in the morning. Kay, I will call you later. You guys have a great show. And it's scary hours for you know who, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So that Bungie stuff was crazy. I don't know if you guys talked about
we
that.
did. We opened up
the Bungie as well. I don't know.
Okay. No, I just okay. Listen. My issue, my concern is that I see a lot of people praising that you know who is going to come and take over, and it's just like, is that something we should be praising? I don't know.
No,
like we're praising hostile takeovers now. What are we doing? So
Support the
those are the
devs,
same
everyone.
people.
Support the devs.
That's what they told me. They told me to support
exactly,
the
Jay.
devs.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
said support the devs, and now they're like, no, go in there, shut everybody down, lock it down, take control. The next game is gonna turn. You know what? Let me stop. I was gonna say it's gonna turn into a third.
I like
person
J-Rock's way of
but
putting it. Who saves the savior?
oh man, who watches the Watchmen? All right,
There you
gentlemen, have a great show.
Yeah, all right, brother. We'll talk later.
Later, have a boy.
Hargeet, let's bring you in on the conversation. Obviously, up until about I don't know, an hour and 18 minutes ago, when you jumped into the green room, you had a different thought and theory, and I might have ruined it for you. But okay, all jokes aside, I think that even before I knew what was relayed to me, I had a feeling that Xbox was going to close out 2023 in a big way.
Yep.
Obviously, first party delivered in a big way, multiple genres for anyone. If you're an RTS fan, if you're an action RPG fan, if you are an anime fan, it's if you're into driving sims, there's literally everything for anyone when it comes to Xbox first party. But that is not even the tip of the spear. What delivered for Xbox this year was the amount, or should I say, the absurd amount of games in Xbox Game Pass. And again, the cherry on top of the sundae, folks, was just last week. Oh, I don't know, Remnant 2. Some people's game of the year is just dropped into Xbox Game Pass. And that is, again, that's just a pinch of what has been delivered. If they come to tomorrow night's show, where it's going to have millions of people, and they have a couple of bomb announcements, and someone like Sony, who has done nothing this year, shows up with nothing, it is going to be a really, really great time for Xbox gamers and a really bad time for PlayStation gamers, because 2024 is not looking good for SIE, but it is looking great for Xbox. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so one of the things that came out of one of the Jez interview with Phil is something that I'd been hinting for a while, and I don't know how much I've made that public or not, but I somehow remember hearing, and I think it was officially from one of them, but that they spend about $1 billion every year on third-party deals in Game Pass, right? Yep. And I've been saying this for years, that I believe that's the number. It's $1 billion a year. And Phil confirmed that, okay? Which means they have some money to spend, because how many third-party AAA games came in day and date this year? Not a lot. They had a lot of these, AA games. So they've got some money to spend here, and they could always up the ante, right? To say, hey, we're going to now definitively tell you that just because we have ABK, just because we have Bethesda, we're not stopping bringing in those third-party AAA games, right? So they're going to bring them in. And so I would expect to see those kind of announcements, right? One of the things you could do to eliminate this remaining stupid narrative that Game Pass is value destructive and makes games bad is take all the ones that get these gaudy nominations and say, oh, well, they're on Game Pass. So you want to play these games, no problem. Just subscribe to Game Pass. You have access to all these Game of the Year nominee games for whichever categories, right? And bring them in, right? Unfortunately, Hogwarts was snubbed, which it shouldn't have been, but it was snubbed. But bringing that in would be fantastic. If it is happening, that'd be awesome. But you might see other announcements of the same caliber to say, hey, these other games that are nominated for certain categories, Here are the ones that are already in Game Pass. Here are the, out of the n number of games, 20 of them are already in Game Pass. Here you go. And we're announcing these other 20 are now in Game Pass as well, right? Stuff like that. This is when we start turning the narrative around.
Let me cut you off right quick, Hargy. Don't ever do that voice again because you sounded too similar to these ponies out here, and it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. So it worked, right?
It worked. It worked. It was effective. It was effective.
Right. So look, this is where they need to start like pushing the opposite direction, right? So when you have articles like Kotaku's that just get updated to say, hey, Xbox is in doom and gloom mode and this is their last chance to exist. Okay, tell us what we're doing wrong here, right? So what we're giving you value at $10 a month if you're on PC, $11 a month on console, and you get all these games. So what's wrong with that, right? Where's the issue, right? Now you're telling me what the gaudy games aren't good enough, they're value destructive. What are you talking about, right? So eventually this narrative just starts slipping and going away. And like it's gonna start happening anyways. That like you can just see the issues that Sony's having. And Xbox is going to generate more enthusiasm. They just are, like all the things they're doing. This is what they need to do, right? So yes, it would be very awesome if they got like the marketing for GTA, but they don't have to. There's so many other things they can do to keep bringing people, to their ecosystem. The attention they need to get is say, hey, look, yep, there's PlayStation. They have their stable of games. This is what they've shown you. If you're enthusiastic about that, great. Here's what we've got, right? And you can start showcasing what you're bringing. And we were just going through like all the games that they've already kind of announced and the stuff that we know that's in the works. And the next like 3, 4, 5 years is insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. We were just like, if they're conservative about the games they release next year, you're already looking at 8 to 9 games first party.
Yep.
It's like, holy crap. How do you even find time for that? Then they have third-party deals, and you're like, dude, this isn't like. And then that's pulling back because I would like to see them put more games out next, but like you can't. You have to push them to the next year, and the next year looks even more stacked. And you're like,
right?
Oh my gosh! And then you go, okay, let's push them to 2026, and it's like, well, the studios that were putting stuff out in 2020 are coming, right? And so those games are going to come out in 2020. Oh my goodness. And it just keeps going and going. And they could buy more studios and they're going to buy more publishers. You're going to get even more. It's just insane. So you should expect 8 to 10 first party games in Game Pass, along with these deals that are coming in, right? It's going to be crazy. This is what they need to start showcasing. We
need to break up Xbox. It sounds like
no, we don't need to break up. What we need to do is Xbox market the hell out of that.
You just, when the show is done, I need you to go back and listen to everything you just said. It sounds like a monopoly. You know what, FTC? You're absolutely correct. We need to Lena Khan, I apologize.
They're suing him right now again, right? Second time's a charm, third time's a charm. Yeah, right.
So what do I?
You're absolutely correct. You got to stop this. This monster called Xbox right now is out of control. Man, I'm looking forward to Stalker 2 next year.
Right, and that's another one they have. They have Towerborn, Contraband's coming, right, and Project Dragon, and I think it's called something else now. But anyway, the IO game that they're working with, either way, there's just so much, right? And then they've got deals with Japanese developers, right, to have exclusive games from there. We haven't seen any of those yet. There's still lots of things they can showcase. On this stage, they need to start convincing people that this platform is worth your time, right? And that's what I'm hoping they're doing. After the ABK thing kind of like solidified, you started seeing that marketing just go, right? So that's what I want to see, right? I want them to bring it, right? If they're going to start getting the mind share from other platforms, this is the time to do it. PlayStation's in a kind of fumbling mode. Take advantage. Nintendo is going to have a lot of enthusiasm going into next year because they're going to have a new console, right? So, and they've already been winning. It's just the way it is. Nintendo keeps silently in the background. They just keep selling their console and they keep selling tens of millions of their games. No issues on their side, right? And they're just going to be introducing a whole new one that happens to be able to play all the third-party games. So they're going to have some enthusiasm. That's a console that you should look out for as far as competition. You need to tell people why they should come to Xbox, why they should go to Game Pass. And that's got to be the focus of what they do here. If they're bringing a whole bunch of things in Game Pass, that would be fantastic. I hope they do that, right? I hope they make some announcements that just blow people away. It's like, yo, I want to be there. How do what is this exclusive? Oh crap, I need to be on this platform. That's what you need to do, right? The Hellblade thing, if they're going to show it, please tell me you're showing it with a release date and and the gameplay for fighting, because we haven't seen it yet. Otherwise, do not even bother. I don't want to see it unless you're telling me it's coming out, in March or whatever it is. Don't bother, right? Just don't even bother. Just tell me when you're ready, because I don't want to see it yet another time. This will be the 4th time, 5th time we're seeing it. Like, just stop.
Hargate, you don't want to see another trailer of Whispers?
No, I'm done seeing trailers of Whispers. I need to see a concrete, like, this is what the gameplay looks like, right? We've seen some gameplay, but I want to see the combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm tackling 4 or 5 enemies. This is what it looks like, right? What is this game? Let's see it. And then release date, boom, right? That's what I'm looking for. If they're going to do it, otherwise just don't even bother, right? If you have other announcements, that's a better way to go. So that's what I'm looking for from there. But I'll like add it to the other side. I expect Kojima, and I don't know if it's going to be the Xbox game. I would expect it to be Death Stranding 2, right? I would expect him to showcase where that is as far as a trailer for what they have, right? It's just my guess. It could be the Xbox game. That would be fantastic, right? It'd be even more awesome if it was both, right? But I expect Kojima to be there. He skipped the Summer Game Fest, right? As far as I could remember, I don't remember seeing Kojima at all, which is odd for Keighley, right? He always has Kojima at his shows. So I'm expecting he's going to come back and show. That would be my guess. It's Death Stranding 2 coming to PlayStation, maybe this coming year, maybe the year after, but maybe this coming year, which would be the savior game for PlayStation, because I don't know what else they have next year that will be their killer game, right? That might be it. So anyway, so that it ain't gonna be all time. Anyway, so I think that might be one. And then on the Nintendo side, I think they're going to be showcasing some of their older games being remastered. That'd be a guess, because I don't think they're going to go crazy. They might showcase again what they already have as just ads, right? We just released Mario Wonder and Zelda and all that, but they can't really do too many announcements unless they want to go bold like Microsoft did and announce their console here, which I doubt they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to wait till early next year, announce it for a fall release or something like that, right? But they could just decide to go bold. Hey, we're announcing it here and it's coming out in April, May, or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen. So that means they're going to reserve a lot of their announcements, because I think they're going to wait for that console announce, and then they're going to announce the games that are coming along with it. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them, right? They're due for a Smash. They're due for we know there's a Mario 3D game coming. They're due for Metroid Prime 4, I think it was, right? And
that's probably going to launch with the new Switch. Switch 2, I would imagine. Yeah,
they're kind of due for another Mario Kart. You on and on, right? So there's probably going to be an Animal Crossing that'll be for the new console, whether it's a port over or whatever, and things like that, right? And Pokemon. So I think they're going to have all those announcements ready to go, but I think it's all going to be at their own thing. I don't think they'll do it here.
Nope.
That's just a guess, right? They could be bold and decide to do it, right? And say, hey, we're announcing partnerships with a lot of third-party developers, and we're going to be bringing a new console out, and it's going to have all these big games. How crazy would it be to say, and GTA 6 coming on, something like that, crazy, right? With Nintendo also taking a part of that marketing, right? And not just have it just be the other two big platforms. So this is the kind of stuff that could happen, but I doubt they're going to do it. But I think Nintendo's going to showcase some older games being remade, remastered, things like that, right? They've been doing a bit of that, so they might have that coming in. I don't know if they're going to have too much else, just because they are going to have a console reveal. So I think they're going to hold a lot of that for that. Outside of that, I like Sega. What are they going to announce? They have something.
We know they're going to be there.
Announce?
What
right?
are they bringing is the question.
Yeah, is it Persona? Would they say, hey, we're not going to announce that on a Microsoft or a Sony stage? We're going to announce that, or hey, a Nintendo stage. It could actually be coming to the next Nintendo console, right? Or are they going to just announce at a Keighley stage? Persona 6 coming, late next year or whatever it is, right? That's a possibility, or coming 2025, along with like a billion other games coming 2025. So that could be an announcement. It could be something totally different. I believe there was a Jet Set Radio thing, right? That was announced, right? There was some remaster thingy coming.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi.
Right. Yeah. And so it could be one of those. It could be another IP that has just been dormant. They could just be coming up with any of their old IPs and like rehashing it with a new modern take, right? So, but there's something coming from Sega. So we'll see what that is. But be ultimately freaking ridiculously crazy is it's Phil Spencer walks up with Sega and says, "I've acquired them," and
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family.
that would be insanity. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would
Oh,
be
no,
like
no,
the
no,
ultimate
that's not
insanity. Because they're still stupidly having to deal with the FTC. I think that's going to continue to keep going and lingering, and until that's like totally done, they're not probably going to go
Hargy, why
something
don't
else.
they
But
just tell the FTC, listen, we're going third party, fully third party in 2027. You shouldn't have any concerns.
yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's not happening either. But anyway, so those are like kind of the things I have. I don't know what Ubisoft has, if they're going to bring anything, or if EA has something to showcase, because there's potential there for EA to do something, but I don't know, right? So that's kind of the thing. So I'm looking for those. Like, I have no idea this was even coming, like announcements, but at least I think there's going to be some presence from Xbox. We know that. We kind of have hints of what some of those are going to be. We know Sega's going to be there. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's going to be there. And my guess is Sony's is going to be Kojima. I think that's what they're going to do, outside of just ads, right? That, hey, we just released Spider-Man, please buy our game or something like that.
Right.
And then I'm hoping Microsoft really takes advantage of this and says, you need to be on Game Pass because, right? And showcase the things. Here are the, out of the, whatever it is, 50 games that have been nominated, like half of them are in Game Pass today. Please come to Game Pass to play any of them, right? So that's what they need to kind of get that messaging out there, right? For people who still don't know what Game Pass is, why it's such a value to them, especially on the PC market, right? Hey, you can come to our platform. You can still play on your PC, no problem, and you get access to all these games. If you want to join our console environment, feel free. We have some deals going on, ads. $250, $200, whatever it is to get a Series S, you're in our platform. You can now go get Game Pass and play all these games, right? So that's what they kind of need to start doing. They just market the heck out of it, and I hope they do. Take advantage. Sony's kind of like teetering right now. Take advantage.
Yep.
Listen, I got a Sony prediction for you, Hargate. What do you think about this? They go up to the stage. They announced the PlayStation 5 Pro with Spider-Man 2 Pro Edition. How does that sound?
They could, right? This is a chance.
Sounds like some of the same. Sounds exactly like something they would do.
Yeah, and they could, and it would be something that gives them something to talk about, right? It gives them a big boost as far as their platform, right? Hey, you have a Pro coming with whatever the increase in capacity and capabilities. Is that going to be enough? Ultimately, it also comes down to games, but yes, there will be enthusiasts who are like, "Oh, this is a massive announcement," right? It's how Microsoft kind of got the 2019, Video Game Awards. Was like, "What? Like, you just announced the Series X?" So that's a possibility. It is a possibility. I don't know if they're going to do that though, right? Usually, they reserve that for their own announcement so they can actually tailor the actual messaging. And I don't know if they're ready to showcase it or not, but we'll see. So, but it is a possibility. That is a possibility. Do you think they're going to do it in the middle of a?
I don't think so, because they literally just announced the Slim. It would be. I mean, listen, they haven't been doing good with their hardware releases. PlayStation VR 2.0 dead. The handheld thing that doesn't work unless you have Tesla sat link, or working in a plane.
That's a whole
it's
other
just,
story.
yeah, that's full.
Showcasing Portal. I'm sure they'll do all those kind of things, ads,
Yeah.
but I also have no idea how much the thing's going to cost. Right? If they had to increase the price for the digital,
it's gonna be $700, dude. There's no doubt about it. Pro would be.
They're probably not going to announce the price first, right? They're going to try to say, "Oh, this thing's fantastic. You want to come here and play on this?"
$599 at the minimum.
Yeah. Wait till you see the price for it.
Yeah, $599, $649, something to that effect. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. But listen, Retri, let's bring you in on the on the conversation. Obviously, you run Xbox Game Pass daily, and listen, one of the things that could steal the show tomorrow is a big announcement for Game Pass. We kind of think what that's going to be, but also, Microsoft, I think, literally has the stage for them to do what they want. I don't think Sony's going to have a presence. I think it's going to be very minuscule. I think Nintendo's presence is going to be, if they even show anything, it is not going to be anything bombastic, because, like Hargeet said, they do their own thing. They have they're not going to try and sell you a Switch 1 and announce a Switch 2. It's just not going to happen. So this is an opportunity for Microsoft, specifically Xbox, who has had a banner year both in first party and helpings with Xbox Game Pass, just one bomb after another. You close out the year with some trailers for games that potentially launch in 24. Give us a peek behind the curtain on something that is going to excite the fan base of, hey, we've been asking for this. What are your thoughts, man?
Sure. Well, I can't talk on everything because we know some things. So I have made some videos that feel like they might come true tomorrow. So
And you're gonna have to flaunt.
I will
those
do that
videos,
later.
sir.
Yeah, go watch it if you want to be spoiled. So I'll talk about other stuff that I think might possibly come tomorrow from Xbox and all their studios. I'd like, or at least what I'd like to see. So these are things I do not know of. So I'm not spoiling anything. I got nothing confirmed for this stuff. But I'd like to see an update on what the heck is going on with State of Decay 3 from Undead Labs.
That's a good one, dude.
It's been
That's
a
great
hot
pick.
minute. You know what I mean? Like I love zombie stuff. I'm playing the crap out of Call of Duty Zombies right now. Like I just, I'm a Left 4 Dead fan. So if it's zombies, I'm in, and I want to see what like State of Decay is doing. Are they going to do a story? Like, is it going to be about this girl that we saw in the trailer, which, I know you mentioned Boom in the past, which I think would be pretty cool. And of course, Perfect Dark. I want to know what the hell is going on with the Initiative and Crystal D. What's going on with that game? Like, I want some sort of update. It could be kind of like the Fable thing where we see some cinematics and we see some in-game stuff, but I want to see what is going on with Perfect Dark. I'm super excited about that. It's South of Midnight, man. Like that, the vibe, the whole southern vibe of that,
really good.
just it looks really cool. So and I'm a fan of compulsion games, and I want to see what the heck could possibly come out of South of Midnight. Maybe we get some gameplay. I just have a feeling that game kind of like I almost call it Clockwork. Clockwork Revolution, not Clockwork.
By the way,
Orange.
did you see that short that NXL did on Twitter? Wizard shit.
Oh, where the wizard? Are you talking about the wizard
Dude.
one or?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Their marketing, dude. Their marketing is there. Yeah, I kind of feel like they need to push those guys as kind of like marketing leaders for Xbox as a whole. But who knows? It's just there's so many games here. It's like, do we get? I definitely expect Hellblade 2 to be there. I expect we're gonna get a date. It's coming next year. I think it's Q1 of 2024. I think we'll probably see that game before April of next year. So I'm looking forward to that. We've seen a lot of Hellblade, so I'm getting a little fatigued with it. So I want to kind of move on to other stuff. But people mention Coalition, and we're talking about Gears 6. I would love to see your Gears 6. But what about InTech? Crickets, right? What's going on with the new Doom or whatever the heck InTech is working on? Maybe they're working on something else. I don't know. But that is a studio that I think a lot of people kind of look past. And damn, that last Doom was fire, dude. That thing, I loved it so much. So, but on the surprise side, maybe on third-party stuff, what we didn't see at BlizzCon was the rumored MMO, the survival MMO from Blizzard. Blizzard needs a win, in my opinion, outside of like World of Warcraft and all the stuff that they showed at BlizzCon, which all looks great. I think for the console guys, we need to see something as well. So we could see the new Blizzard game. That could be a new,
The
thing that's
survival
coming
joint.
out.
Yeah,
The
dude,
survival joint,
absolutely.
it's got the aesthetic of Overwatch. It's got dungeons. It's got raids. It's PvP. It's got world events. It's got points of interest and just so much more going on with that. That's what I want to see. It's rumored. Jez got it wrong for BlizzCon. He kind of teased that it was going to come out then. I got it wrong too. I said it was probably going to come out BlizzCon. Maybe this is the showcase to show it. A brand new IP. Let's go. It's owned by Xbox now. It's no longer a third-party deal. That would be great. Indiana Jones. What's going on with Indiana Jones? We saw the biggest tease of teasers I've ever seen. It was like, 20 seconds long. What's going on with Indiana Jones? I want to see it. Like, and this would be a perfect place to show it. It's a zeitgeist game, right? It's we got the format for it. It's so many people are going to watch this thing. that is where I would show off Indiana Jones. And my last one for me, because I don't want to spoil anything, is Certain Affinity. Certain Affinity has been working with Xbox. We know they worked on Halo. They've worked on COD. This is a studio that is extremely under the radar for some stupid reason. I don't know why. But we heard rumors a while ago from Jeff Grubb and got stories on that Xbox wanted their own Monster Hunter style game. What if their Monster Hunter style game is announced at the Game Awards? I think that would be massive.
Well, can I add some context to what you're saying? Because in a recent interview, the head of Certain Affinity said they're going to be showing something off in December. They didn't specifically say what and when that was. Well, I don't know.
I made a video about this, Boom. He said that. That's over 4 months old when he actually said that. It just kind of reared its head back into so that's actually a little bit old, but it ain't that old. That's 4 months ago where he was interviewed on a podcast. And yeah, that's why I made a video saying, what if it is this Monster Hunter style game? He mentioned December. There's a lot of he talked about Certain Affinity working on their biggest project, which is with 343. We know they're doing something Halo involved. That could drop too. That could be another thing that could drop. I don't know. But he mentioned that they have a partner that they're not allowed and they're not ready to announce for yet. And he said, like, the way he worded it, he's talking about Halo, and then right afterwards, he's talking about another game and a partner that they can't talk about. The way he says it in the podcast, I swear it's Xbox, dude. Like, if you go and watch that, and it's on one of my videos. Like, man, it feels so obvious to me that it's Xbox and it's that Monster Hunter game that I think it's that, man. So I'm super hyped, guys. You can't say anything, but watch some of my other videos. Just do not miss this one. I'm telling you. There's one thing I got right, and there's another one I did not see coming, but something we've been talking about, some partnerships that we've been kind of claiming that should happen.
Look at Boom rubbing his face. He wants to say it.
I want to say
like
it, so I'm not saying it.
We won't.
Yeah, but
we have to all catch up on what is it, the Breakfast with Boom show, and talk about what the heck just happened.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? Obviously, I'll email you the links. Friday morning's Breakfast at Boom is going to be
crazy, dude.
Wild. And we're going to try and get as many people in there as we can, because it's going to be...
I might have to show up for that one.
Well, it's going to be... You're more than welcome to. It's going to be the follow-up to what happened on Thursday night. And like I said, folks, I have a few things confirmed that I would never ruin. And you know what? I actually saw Lord Attic from the Iron Lords actually talking back and forth with Tim Dog, and he said specifically, I just literally read his tweet, congratulations to the Xbox community that the people that actually know what's going around haven't leaked it, and he's proud of the community. And I have to second that notion as well, because no one has leaked it, nobody big anyway. And I haven't seen anything on the social, so maybe what we know kind of gets held back, because I won't leak it. I wouldn't leak it even for money, because this is something that's big, and if you don't want to spoil
it, man, that's too much fun.
You
want to get that fun. Surprise.
Indeed.
Yeah,
so,
I do think one more thing I wanted to point out though, on the Sega side, everyone who got that little Sega showing up big time, all of those guys were fighting guys. Almost like I haven't found one guy like that was on Twitter that showed that doesn't have like a channel that's based on fighting games. So the rumor is maybe Virtual Fighter. Now I don't know if that means anything to anyone, or if anyone cares, or another fighting game. But dude.
Yeah,
I mean that could be one of the things that Sega announces tomorrow, which would be pretty cool. I'd like to see a return of that.
I'd love to see a return of that. Absolutely. Finally, let's get Kay Asante in here. Kay, what are your expectations for tomorrow evening? Do you think that Xbox steals the show?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've been enjoying the show, watching and listening to you guys really go through all the various avenues. As I too got the inside dope, I'd feel it a little unfair to speculate because that would just be disingenuous on my part. Like, let me just say that.
Well, I mean, you know
So-
only one thing, so I mean,
I know more than one thing, but I'll be quiet on that. Anyway, let's move quickly along.
Look
I
at
will
you,
say-
kind sir. No wonder why you were late. You having these
I've
meetings
just been
without
quiet.
us.
I'm just paying attention to what people are saying. All I will say is, and no one knows everything, but
Right.
I think from what I know, the sources I have, I think I am
You trust
confident.
them.
I will say
Yeah,
I do
okay.
trust them. Yes, and what I will say is, and nothing I'm saying has anything to do with what I know. I would definitely not do that. Of course, as Boom is saying, so close, you want the surprise to be the surprise. No expectation of spoilers from me. I will say, like, I want Microsoft and Xbox to put the big first party bombs on their stage.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Right?
Fair.
Your Gear 6, I want to see that on a Microsoft produced situation, right? These events for me are an opportunity to drop huge bombs on the non Xbox fan, right?
Yeah.
The general public that goes, oh my God, I can't believe these guys got this thing, right? So with that in mind, I suspect there will be some very interesting monsters that will be dropped here today, including the one that I know. So like, as much as I love Gears, I don't expect to see Gears on this stage because that would be an E3 of their own making, or an E3 like show of their own making. That's what I'd expect to see, something like that there, right? Here on this show, I expect to see some interesting, like, headline grabbers. That's what I expect to see in here, because obviously a lot of the attention on this show right here is paid to just general gaming, and a lot of the as Hargeet was talking about, I expect to see a huge building of a category, which is the Game Pass, the Game Pass category of the Game Award. So by the end of this, when you go to that Game Awards category in Game Pass, it'll be filled with both old award winners and new ones that just got added, right? Hogwarts being spoken about. They've already spoken about what do you call it? 1 and 2, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which Xbox has history with, that are being dropped in the service. I say the third one gets dropped into the service.
Yep.
Right? 3 all in one collection, all building that, hey, you see this prestige library, they're all here to be played day and date, right? So I think that we see that there as well. I don't know how many. Well, okay. I do know that there should be at least 2 of them, first party, like, wows, right? And that I will just zip my lip, because anything I say will be disingenuous. But oh boy, that's all I'll say. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. Because then the surprise will be even more. But if what I know is true, faces will be melted.
Indeed. Indeed.
That's all I will say. And to Hargeet's point, Hellblade, 100% a release date.
Yeah.
After the combat trailer. 100%.
Maybe a
If that doesn't
developer's
happen,
direct
without a doubt.
announcement. Maybe.
possibly. Yeah, maybe something. If that doesn't happen, then virtual pitchforks come out. It's enough already. We want to see
I agree.
the full package, and we will. So that's where I'll leave it.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, great point. Listen, real quick, I want to shout out a couple of things here. If you anyone in the chat who is a BJ's Wholesale Club member, well, thanks to Cup Z, he actually just put this out there, and I think this comes the way of Wario64. I just bought 3 of them, so it's actually legit. They are selling a $50 GameStop gift card for $37.
Ooh.
And I still shop at GameStop, so I bought 3 of them, and well, they there you go. If you are a BJ's Wholesale Club member, which I am, Mrs. Boom and I are, you can turn around and get your $50 gift card for $37. And that's a pretty good deal. But listen, let me catch up on some super chats. And we have a channel membership message here from JFX88, who's been a channel member for a month. Brother, thank you so much for the generosity. And of course, thank you for being here. He says, good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Well, thank you so much for the kind words. And brother, it's great to have you here as always. Sir X-Man, our very good friend of the show, drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, Virtual Fighter 6 and a new Crazy Taxi on Game Pass. Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
But you know what we need on top of that? I'm being greedy here. A new Jet Set radio.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, that's
Jet
what I'm
Set.
talking about. We also have Bartman, so B Martin 001. Wow, dude, he drops, folks. He has gifted 5 double barrel gaming memberships. That is very kind of you, brother. If you have gotten one of these memberships, please thank him in the chat. That is very kind of you, very generous of you. And JD Gamer, who dropped an additional outstanding $10 super chat, says this. No other game or publisher can have the impact that GTA 6 will have. That I absolutely agree. Just look at the views of the still image from Friday.
Mhm.
When the weekend ended, it was over 150 million views for a still image.
Crazy.
And then just look, they've already crossed over 100 million views
For the
on
trailer.
YouTube for the
Yep.
freaking trailer.
Record breaking.
It's
Yep.
ridiculous. Yes, you get marketing rights, and I'm sorry, whatever it costs, it costs. That's
Mhm.
just my opinion. So he says, if Xbox gets it, it's game over for PlayStation. If PlayStation gets it, then it's another black eye for Xbox, but I expect PlayStation to be in trouble. Rest in peace. We also have Treybone 408 drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, I think Sega announced his own service and puts it into Game Pass. Wow, that would be dope. I would definitely be definitely for that. But folks, listen, we're at the 2-hour mark. Let's get everyone out of here on time. J-Rock, let's sell your brand, brother. You have exploded on the scene. You're one of the funniest and most fun community members that are out there on these Xbox streets doing the Xbox Lord's work. Talk about it. Where can people follow you on social media? And
Boom, boom, boom. The gremlins know where to find me. They know my layer is Twitter X. They know where to go to find me already. But I want to make a special announcement today. Boom. I'll be starting my channel on February 22nd.
Oh, that is fantastic, dude. Do you have a name of your channel?
It's gonna be GG's Gremlin Gaming.
GG's Gremlins Gaming, brother.
Yes,
I definitely am digging that. Obviously, we got to get you back on here because we got to promote the shit out of that. And of course, I'll be more than happy to guest on that when you do launch this. Because is it solo? Is it with other people? Are there other panel members? What do you got going on?
It's gonna be mostly solo. It's basically for me and the Gremlin Nation, the community, interacting with them.
Okay.
Doing the game nights as always from
Nice.
people all over the world, especially my Latin American people.
Nice, excellent.
Connecting with them, having them connect with others, so on and so forth. But mostly gonna be for entertaining purposes and just having fun with them.
Well, you have a lot of fun on social media, brother, and we have fun watching you have fun. So yeah, we're gonna help you push that when you are close to launching it. We'll have you back here, obviously, right before to kind of get people to move over and subscribe to your channel. But brother, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. Fun as
Absolutely.
always, and it's great to have you here. Retri, who is obviously the founder of Game Pass Daily, your best place for anything and everything when it comes to your Game Pass news. And you know what? Tomorrow may be some Game Pass news. Retri, sell the brand, brother.
Yeah.
Where could people subscribe to your YouTube channel, actually reach out to you on social media, and also find you each and every Sunday with Web Dave on the Gamers Council podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Boom. I know I can only make these late night podcasts now, but I'm happy to be here with these guys and Hargi and Kayasante, and of course J-Rock. Great conversation tonight. Awesome panel, awesome chat. You guys can find me at Game Pass _daily if you want to know anything about Game Pass. I am a Game Pass shill and proud of it. And Game Pass Daily on YouTube. And of course, what Boom said, you guys can join us at the Gamers Council every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Sunday, after the Game Awards, obviously, we'll be talking with Randall Thor, Colt Eastwood, and the Black Viking, my buddy, who just started his own show yesterday too. So I was on
which you
that.
were a guest. I was in the chat.
Yes,
For most of
yeah,
it. Yes.
I love Black Viking, man. Good dude. So make sure to go support him as well. But thanks for having me, man. That's always a good time. I love these guys. I love this community. So absolutely, man.
And we love you too, brother. We appreciate the work that you do. And
You bet.
yeah, shout out to the Black Viking. He had a very successful show last night. He garnered
lot of fun,
75 subscribers yesterday during the live stream, which is amazing. And obviously that dude is like legit. He is, again, like J-Rock, exploded on the scene as a community member. You should definitely be following. That is right. The Black Viking 3 on Twitter. Definitely go check him out and the work that he does there. Shout out to him. I know he's in the chat. But Hargeet Chani, brother, obviously we, I don't know whether you saw, because I'm watching Gaz right now. Now he's talking about hashtag PlayStation tax. What? I mean, Gaz is amazing. He's been. There's one thing I have to say about Game On Daily this year. It's been a lot of fun. He has been unhinged. To be quite fair, but obviously him and Asa do an amazing job. They're literally the odd couple. One is very quiet, the other one is very loud, and they do their thing. And we love them over there, brother. Sell their brand of Game On Daily. Where could people check that out? And more importantly, not find you on social media,
right? Yeah, and Asa, even though he's quiet, brings the sauce just as much.
Oh no, he's a ninja. Don't sleep on him. He'll cut your throat. Yeah.
But either way, so check out GameOnDaily.com and YouTube.com/GameOnDaily. And yes, Gaz is going to start doing a lot more content hopefully soon on his Septic Sauce channel. So check that out as well. YouTube.com/Septic Sauce. And yeah, I'm not on social media, but you can check me out at Discord at HChani, and then also on Xbox HChani. And thanks for joining us, Retri and J-Rock.
Absolutely, brother.
Have you on and discuss the fun of what's coming up. Yeah, look forward to Friday to go over what we just had, and we'll discuss the implications of what just happened, which are going to be very profound.
It's going to be fun, dude.
Yeah,
well, listen, Hargeet, I'll send you a
right?
link for Saturday's show. We go live at 10 a.m. So if you could be there, just jump in. I'll send you the link.
I'm on vacation, right? So I don't care. I'm totally down. We should absolutely just jump in and talk.
All right, yeah, so I'll send you a link.
Hargeet pulling a Jim Ryan on vacation out here?
Yeah, well, that's a whole other story. He's on a different
that is definitely a whole. So Hargeet, brother, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And again, we'll see you Friday morning for sure. There's going to be a lot of implications and a lot of the big discussions if what we talked about earlier comes to fruition. And last and no way least, the guy that was late for the show because he was hanging out with the Xbox executives, and you can sloth him right now, sloth. Yeah, get him. Kay Asante, brother, sell the brand. The Gaming Circle podcast, you announced your first giveaway. Folks, they're giving away an Xbox Series X. And
Indeed.
Tell them where you're shipping, and more importantly, how they could win this amazing prize. But more importantly, how do they sub your channel and reach out to you on social media?
So first off, thank you for all the folks for being here as usual. Of course, it's been a great year being here with all the fine folks, both on the panel and in the chat. Always the great community members that come and show support and have these great gaming conversations. So I appreciate it. Great to see you, of course, Retri,
Absolutely,
Hargeet, and of course the Gremlin himself, Mr. J-Rock. Welcome. We always appreciate you on here as well. So. I will say it's been a great year for our show as well. On GCP Gaming Circle podcast. Catch us Saturdays 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think everyone on this panel here has already been on our show, maybe once or twice. So we appreciate y'all continued support there. We have one show left for the year, and that will be one live show, I should say, left for the year, and that'll be this weekend on the 9th. where we will we convene the council, as it were, not the Gamers Council, #TM. But we have ridiculous PG-13 slanderous fun on a Saturday morning. We call ourselves PG-13. If you remember G.I. Joe, they had guns, but they shot lasers, not bullets. That's us, right? So we do our best to straddle the line, but not go over it. And yes, we are giving away an Xbox Series X for the first time ever. We're doing a giveaway. We've been really generous. People have been generous with their time and their super chats. So we're giving away a Series X. To win it, all you got to do is follow myself and the Neeless one, Mr. Everborn Saga, who was just here not too long ago. You follow us on x.com and you follow us on you subscribe to the channel. And on my birthday, December 25th, yeah, it's another day that day, but it's my birthday. That's all that's more important. On my birthday, we'll go on X, and I think myself and Everborn we'll do a Spaces and just kind of chat with folks, and we'll just pick a random person in our subscriber count who meets those criteria, and you globally will get an Xbox Series X. We will ship it to you. Now there is a little bit of a tinge because we've learned from others in this space. We will ship it wherever we need to go. We'll put the first $100 in shipping towards it. If it's more than that, we might need your assistance. But the console itself will be yours. Anywhere in the world, but we will pick it live on Spaces on my birthday, and we'll send it to whoever wins it. And we appreciate everybody. Oh, and actually, when folks heard that this was so great, others actually wanted to jump in. So there might be other prizes that will be added to the pool as well.
Oh, very nice.
Also of Xbox hardware. So pay attention. It should be interesting during Christmas. But yes, thanks to everybody who's been a part of it. It's really been a fun year for us, and on this show and all the various shows we do, and we sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
I said Sonic was the best. Do I win? I told everyone.
I'm sorry. Oh well,
I said Sonic was the best, so I figured I'd win.
If you say Sonic is the best, you know what you win? But... you win the Blue Rat Kabuki prize. That's fine.
The Blue Rat Kabuki.
So I'm actually international shipment things, and the headache is actually the customs.
Oh my
yes,
God.
A lot of places you have to deal with the customs.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know.
So it could cost you.
Yep.
It could.
I know.
It could.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing. I know. Yes. But we'll do it. We'll do it.
Hey, listen, I got a funny story, right? Kay was asked about this giveaway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kay was asked, hey, why aren't you giving away a PlayStation Portal? And he said, and I quote, "We want the people to be excited."
Come on, man. That was in the DMs, bro.
Bro, when I read that, I lost it.
Wrong.
Well,
to be fair,
That's good.
Well, actually, to defend poor Asante over here, if they were to give away a PlayStation Portal, they'd also have to spend an additional $600 so the thing would work.
Yes, I'd have to buy you a PlayStation first before the portal becomes useful. So
that. So yeah, that's an $800.
That was a classic. That was a classic moment.
That was a classic.
Thanks, Jay. No, I know not to speak to you in them DMs, man. Come on now.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. We had over 700 people here. Please, if you are still here, and there's 488 of you, please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Real quick, just a quick announcement regarding the end of year giveaway, because obviously we do this every year. This is going to be the 6th annual Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. Boomstick that is happening on Breakfast with Boom, December 22nd. And of course, as you know or you may not know, we are giving away $1,500 in 2 hours. It's going to be 10 $100 gift cards to your platform of choice, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo eShop, and 2 members of the community are going to walk away with each a $250 gift card to, of course, those same 4 platforms. And all you got to do to win, folks, is the first 6 go to channel members, because that is what happens when you are a channel member. And the second 6, which is one $250 gift card and 5 5 $100 gift cards will go to anybody in the chat that is there while we are live, and I will have a hashtag that you will have to put, and you will, the minute you put that into the chat, you will be registered to win. And of course, that all is happening on the 22nd of December, right before Christmas. And of course, a big thank you to all of the super chats and the channel memberships that continue to come in, because that is how we are able to pay for these big giveaways. We take the super chats, we take the channel memberships, we kind of tuck them away. Google gets their 30%, and then what we do is we just wait to do these big giveaways. We've already given away $1,000 in two events this year, and this is going to be the big one. And to start off next year's 2024 giveaway or give-a-thon, whatever you want to call it, Mrs. BoomStick and I, in order to support the game devs, as we enjoy doing, the makers of Stalker 2. They are, considered a smaller studio. They've been through the ringer this year, and we are going to be giving away 15 copies of Stalker 2, and we are buying those at full price. We are not getting a discount. We are not getting those from Microsoft. We are literally going to buy those from the actual store and send you the codes. And of course, it's your choice of whether it's PC or Xbox. And that's going to be the big contest to open 2024. I'm going to close out the show with something else, folks, that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. BoomStick and Friends.